I think sometimes we think about a quiet life and we chalk it up to granny hobbies and living like it's 1920. But the truth is, a quiet life comes from quieting our minds first. Sometimes, as life swirls around us and our feet feel a little unsteady, what we long for most of all is a little clarity. A little, what does it look like to choose the next best thing? A little, how do I make sense of this? A little, why isn't this working? Clarity isn't really about having all the answers. It's about the opportunity to make sense of what's in front of us so that we can take the next brave step. So in season 4 of the Inspiring Heights podcast, we are having real conversations about those pesky life things that trip us up and leave us thinking, if only I could see a way forward. Welcome to the clarity season. Here's the actual truth. I've been a little torn about this episode because I'm holding this huge desire to talk to you about living present and not rushing ahead. And fall is coming for me sooner than the calendar actually says so. So the tension has been this. Am I a fraud for talking about not rushing ahead while I'm actually doing just that with the changing of the physical season? Here's where I've landed. I think we can hold the tension together because this is a perfect opportunity for us to practice our expanded gray thinking and let go of the black and white all or nothing thinking that we talked about in the last episode. So let's go ahead and get uncomfy together, okay? When I started taking steps towards a lower tox lifestyle, some of the swaps were easier than others. Like replacing artificially fragranced candles with essential oils diffusers, easy. Swapping out plastic containers for glass, not terribly hard. But finding a foundation that gave me the coverage that I wanted and fit into my desire for cleaner, lower tox beauty, that felt nearly impossible. Until I found Crunchi. Crunchi is an EWG verified clean beauty company that made finding products I feel good about using and that actually perform the easy part. From skincare to makeup to body care, Crunchi offers a wide range of clean beauty and personal care products, making it easier to be more intentional about what you're putting on your body. And honestly, I'm just pumped to have finally found a foundation that I love. I mean, it covers what it needs to, it stays put all day. That doesn't make me feel like I have to choose between performance and my desire to live a lower tox life. So if you've been wanting to make the switch to cleaner beauty, but you just have felt a little stuck, I'm going to leave my Crunchi link in the show notes below so you can take a look. And if this is your first time shopping at Crunchi, you can get 15% off your entire first order with code ADVOCATE15 at checkout. I'll drop that code next to the link below. In the name of full transparency, I am a Crunchi advocate, which means I earn a small commission if you purchase through my link at no additional cost to you. Thank you so much for supporting my small business in this way. It truly means a lot to me. This past year, I noticed something about myself that I never really wanted to. I planned so much for the future that when said future came to pass, I honestly didn't enjoy it that much because the fun was in the planning, not the doing. Example, planning family get-togethers or vacations with fervor and accuracy and detail, and then getting to the actual event and feeling like it was pretty anticlimactic, and then secretly planning for whatever was next on the calendar while I was taking a shower. It might sound funny, or perhaps you can relate and you're like, hey, what's wrong with that? But when I realized this, the whole thing kind of came tumbling down on my head. My excessive planning was taking me out of today and leaving me with a strong death grip on tomorrow. But tomorrow was never good enough to keep me there either. I was always striving ahead, and it was ruining me. It was distracting me. It was making me distant from the people that I love, and honestly, even myself. So I spent the last year working it out. Thinking on it, praying about it, pivoting from it, growing in it. And now I want to talk about it. Not because I'm an expert, but because what I've learned has felt so invaluable for me that I want to share it with you. Let's start with this one. Why do we do this? Why do we live in the future? Why are we so easily swept into what's happening later, today, tomorrow, next year? Just one answer would be nice and sufficient, right? Like, oh, it's this, and this is how we overcome that. But the thing is, I don't think it is just one thing. In fact, I think it's different things for different people. Things like consumerism, masking pain, dysregulation, distraction, discontentment, the need for control. And I think that if we want to be people who find ourselves actually tuned in when our spouse is telling us a story or we're chatting on the phone with our bestie instead of distracted by our lists and our calendars and what's happening next on Facebook, then I think we have to do some intentional soul searching and figure out what's pulling us out of right now. And here's another fun twist. I don't always think it's just one thing or always the same thing. I think just like everything else in life, seasons impact our soft spots like this. In some seasons, maybe we're really dysregulated, and this excessive planning and thinking about the future is our grasp to feel a little bit more like ourselves. Other times, maybe we're really, really hurting in the present day and looking for anything that pulls us out of the pain of today and into the hope of tomorrow. Okay, let's talk about the both and for a second. We need a plan for the future too, right? So we want to live in the present and we need a plan for the future too. If I don't make a plan for family get-togethers, we're not going to have food. If I don't think about Christmas until December 25th, I'm going to have a hard time making that day special. If we don't plan for harvest in September, our schedule won't have space to reap the work that we've sown all summer long. Planning ahead, it's not optional. It's not bad. It's not destructive, right? The problem we run into is coming back from the future part. We start planning ahead, good, but then we end up kind of parking there. And before you know it, we've set up the camper and put out a rug and we've moved in. Our minds sit there and spin there and easily meander there during normal tasks and conversations and quiet moments. And before we know it, we didn't actually hear what the special was at the restaurant because we were thinking about should I really serve turkey for Christmas this year? Or maybe it should be ham since Thanksgiving is so close and most people are sick of turkey after Thanksgiving. Although maybe we could cook it in different ways at different events. Say smoke it for one holiday, deep fry it for the next, like a special Christmas twist. Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. Can you repeat those specials again, please? You know the first step towards solving any problem, right? It's to admit we have one. Listen, in all seriousness, we're going to dive into some things that I have found incredibly helpful in my own journey towards living a more present life. But before we do, there's one more of the both and things I want to talk about. There's a million we could, but there's one more. The moving ahead into the next season before the season arrives. Here's what I mean. Fall officially starts on September 22nd. In the Kaiser household, fall officially starts on September 1st. Here's the wrestle I've been having internally about this. Is me leaning into fall 22 days early, me rushing ahead and not living present? Is it me packing my bags and moving to the future? I am positive that you could make an argument for that. But here's how I'm choosing to hold it this year. My choice is conscious and it's intentional. I love fall and I want to extend the season by 22 days and I think that's okay. Is it still going to be 90 degrees for most of those 22 days? I'm sure it will be. Is there still end of summer things that need my attention on those 22 days? Yes. But here's where the both and comes. Instead of spending 22 days dreaming about pumpkin spice frothies and pumpkin pie essential oil diffuser blends and pumpkin welcome mats, I'm going to spend those 22 days enjoying those things. Is that the right choice? Well, for this season, I honestly think I can say yes. Are there times when I have felt this tension where it hasn't been healthy? Absolutely, yes. It's another one of those areas where I think getting honest with ourselves and with the people that are in our inner circle become the name of the game. There have most certainly been many, many years in my past where I have ushered fall in when Hobby Lobby does. As long as say about end of June, beginning of July, I would meander down the fall aisles, quickly followed by the Christmas ones, and then I would start hating summer and dreaming and planning and living in the fall. In those years, that wasn't healthy. It was too soon for me. It pulled me out of the present. I think it comes down to this. What's our motivation? To enjoy or to skip ahead? To lean in or to avoid? To savor or to get it over with? Here's the reason I'm actually ready to share this with you. I've lived some present moments in the past year, and they're wonderful, and I want you to have them too. Here's the deal. When it comes to the kitchen, your girl is about 3 big things. Number 1, eating yummy, nutritious food. Number 2, reducing food waste. And number 3, efficiency. Those are the things that led me to the Harvest Right freeze dryer. According to Harvest Right, freeze-dried food has a shelf life of up to 25 years. Do you know what it means? It means those onions I bought a few weeks ago, you know, the ones that if I don't use really, really soon are most certainly going to end up in the garbage. Yeah, I can just go ahead and throw those in the freeze dryer and then pull them off the shelf, say next year when I totally forget that onions were on the grocery list. The other thing is that freeze-dried food retains 97, yeah, I'll say it again, 97% of its nutritional value, compared to only 60% when you're dehydrating and 40% when you're canning. That's wild. Oh, and can we talk about stretching our budgets a little further? Because who's not interested in that these days? Home freeze-dried food costs 1/3 as much as store-bought freeze-dried food. Harvest Right has been around for years, and they call themselves the original innovators in home freeze drying. So when we found ourselves seriously in the market for a better way to preserve food, and always have a nutritious, crunchy snack in the pantry, just one of those fringe benefits, Harvest Right was the most obvious choice for us. Quick disclosure, I am a Harvest Right affiliate, which means I may earn a small commission if you purchase through my link at no additional cost to you. Thank you so much for supporting my small business in this way. Hey, you can check out the link in the show notes below for more information and to see the current Harvest Right sales. If you're ready to level up your food game, maybe, just maybe, this new kitchen appliance will be the game changer for you that it was for us. Here are 5 real-life, not staged, very imperfect ways I got started. Number 1, I stopped letting myself extensively plan each day. For me, I used to use my morning walks for planning. I would talk to myself the entire time, planning every little detail of the day, as well as future activities, events, outings, and get-togethers, conversations, plans for those conversations. I did it every day, over and over again. So if we had a trip coming up at the end of the week, I would plan it 5 times that week. Plus, I probably already planned it 15 times 3 weeks prior. So I stopped. Cold turkey. I started using my walks to connect with people instead. I voice memo my friends and my family during these walking sessions, and it was the easiest first step for me because it very quickly pulled my mind out of planning excessively and adjusted me back to seeing my people. And it took away this easy built-in time for me for beyond reasonable future planning. Number 2, I made a very conscious decision to put my phone down when Ben was talking to me and when we were doing anything together. I have gone on lots of escapades about the phone in the past 10 months, so I'm not going to bore you with it again. If you have missed it, if you're like, oh, I've never heard Vanessa talk about the phone, just tune back into like the winter months of the podcast and you'll hear all about it. But again, this was an easy to access step, right? Because I could do it. I could set my phone down. I could give my eyes and my ears and my brain to what my husband was saying. Now, here's the tricky part. This step, albeit easy to reach for, was really, really hard because our brains have been wired to jump from thing to thing to thing very quickly, thanks to technology and to social media. So sitting in a conversation, fully present, not planning for the future, not scrolling on my phone at the same time, it was hard for a long time. Like I think I was going through like withdrawals. I felt bored sometimes. And not because my husband is boring. I'm pretty sure he would tell you he experienced the same thing. But because my brain was used to being in 10 places at one time. But with the challenge of this step also came the first glimpse of what a quiet, simpler, more connected, present life looks like. I think sometimes we think about a quiet life and we chalk it up to granny hobbies and living like it's 1920. But the truth is, a quiet life comes from quieting our minds first and then letting our lives flow from that posture. Number 3, we planned what needed planning for the annual year. Vacation dates, conferences, roughed out holiday plans. We sat down, we talked about them, we put them on the calendar, and we closed the book. And then we started planning life 12 weeks at a time. Like I said, we have to plan ahead. What I found is that by intentionally planning, like the entire year, roughed out big things that we need to have on the calendar, and then moving into that 12-week planning has allowed us to stay present in this season at hand while also having a parking lot space to hold for future plans and to-dos. Number 4, we leaned into a quiet season. Winter is generally a quieter season for us, and this past year we protected that with a pretty good level of defense. We needed the time to be quiet, to learn what it looked like to live with quieted minds. And number 5, I forced myself to get bored. Not picking up my phone when I was waiting in the checkout line, cooking in the kitchen without an audiobook or music or a podcast playing in the background, being alone without having a lengthy conversation with myself. Don't judge. I know you do it too. Leaning into the quiet, the stillness, the calm. Friend, here's what I know to be true about living a present life. It's a slow build with no arrival. At times, that's a huge discouragement for people like you and me. But in the stillness of it all, it's actually a deep breath. Because it reminds us that we're human. It reminds us that there's no finish line that we're failing to reach. We get to keep trying, keep learning. And perhaps most importantly, it reminds us to stay curious. And that's a wrap. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Do you have questions, comments, or insights on today's content? I would love to hear from you. You can DM me on Facebook or Instagram, or head over to our website, inspiringheights.org, and click on the Contact Us form. I will link all those locations here in the show notes. P.S. If you haven't already, I would love for you to leave a 5-star rating and a quick review of the podcast. This helps get our content in the hands of new listeners. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter and follow us on social media for rhythmic doses of inspiration. All right, friends, take a deep breath and be inspired where your feet are. Bye for now.